There was a Harvard research where a bunch of students were put in a lecture theatre and a bunch of students were set group work. And at the end of the session, they said, how much did you learn? And the people in the lecture theatre thought, like 80% thought, I've learned loads, way, way more than the people in the group work setting. And then they gave them an exam, and who had actually learned more? The group work people. And a lot of our perception around church is that I learn a lot from sitting and listening to a sermon. But many of us, unless it was a very dynamic sermon with an object lesson and you were probably involved in preparing it, I reckon if you're thinking back to Sunday, what was it even about? Could you remember the points? Whereas if you did something interactive, if you made something with somebody else, if you had a relational conversation with somebody, that is far more memorable, and it's better spiritual formation and discipleship. So it's not just about this is helpful for young people, although we know that intergenerational relationships are one of the key things that help young people go on in faith. It's for everybody. It's people with dementia, people with neurodiversity, it's people with English as a second language. It's for all of us, even those of us who would sort of fit a neurotypical kind of standard church leader or church attender person. This actually just really, this way of learning and way of interacting is good for relationships. It's good for spiritual formation. So if you often just dip into our Bible notes and carry on with your hymn sandwich and a sermon every week, I just want to challenge you to try a couple of the interactive activities, try a bit more of the engaging your senses, interacting with people in your church service, because it is so transformational. And I think it will make your church services more memorable.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had a really interesting series, haven't we, of articles in Worship Together, asking experts, practitioners to write for us about intergenerational. So yeah, I'd encourage anybody who's maybe not kind of tracked with that to go back, read those articles. We've also got podcasts that Melanie's done on those. So they're really helpful, I think, for just explaining, like Melanie's done just there, a bit more about why this is important and some of the evidence around it. But I know certainly in my experience, there can be a real richness that comes out of those times, and it's definitely worth giving it a go. So.